Hey, this is Joe with Grow It Build It, and today I'm going to tell you all about Foxglove Beardtongue. The Penstemon genus consists of roughly 250 different species of flower native to North America. There is truly a Penstemon almost for every corner of this continent, but one of the more common species native to eastern North America is Penstemon digitalis, commonly referred to as Foxglove Beardtongue. And you may notice that both its botanical and common name do pay homage to its resemblance to European foxglove digitalis purpurea. But this species is a great native addition to any garden that will provide a showy white display in late spring to early summer. And in this video, we're going to tell you all you need to know about growing this species, including the benefits, a description, identification, the growing conditions, how to grow it from seed, save seed, wildlife associations, and garden uses, and then we will review. So I hope you stick with me on this journey as we explore one of the showier natives that will provide you with white blooms in North America. Okay, so what exactly is Foxglove Beardtongue? Well, Foxglove Beardtongue is a perennial flower native to eastern North America from Texas to Minnesota and east to Pennsylvania and Georgia. So it covers a fairly wide area of the country, and it's hardy all the way from zones 3 to 8. One of the big benefits of Foxglove Beardtongue is its long bloom time. As a perennial, it'll bloom for roughly 4 weeks in late spring to early summer. Beauty. The panicle of white flowers that occur at the top of the stalks are eye-catching and really stand out against the dark green foliage, and each stalk puts out many blooms. So it does look good and gives you some curb appeal. While some native plants can be prone to tipping over while blooming, Foxglove Beardtongue will stay erect in general. The stout stalks tend to hold up the blooms upright. In fact, I've really never seen a member of any of the penstemons really tip over, unless it was something that fell on them like a stick or something. Beautiful foliage. The dark green leaves and stalk of Foxglove Beardtongue look great all season and really aren't affected by disease or insects. Outside of the occasional aphids, or if extreme drought, the leaves might turn yellow, but you can fix that with watering. And deer and rabbits generally avoid the plant once it reaches a certain size. And we'll talk more about deer and rabbits with this plant later. Bees. Foxglove Beardtongue is very attractive to a large number of bee species, and the tubular flowers make observing pollinators a little more fun. If you like seeing bees go spelunking into flower tubes, this plant is for you. There's no shortage of bee butts that you can see when you watch this. And if you're liking this video, please give me a thumbs up down below. It really helps me out and I do greatly appreciate it. And we're about to get into growing conditions, but before I forget, this entire video does exist as an article at our website, growitbuildit.com. Just Google Foxglove Beardtongue, Grow It Build It, and you'll find it. So if you want a quick reference later, you can just go there. So for growing conditions, Foxglove Beardtongue will prefer full sun, but it can tolerate partial shade. For moisture, it's pretty versatile and it can grow from slightly moist to slightly dry conditions. Just make sure it drains well. It likes loamy soil, but I have it growing in poor compacted sandy loam without any issues. And it is also noted for being able to grow in clay soil as well, so pretty versatile in that regard. For physical description and ID, this plant will grow 2 to 4 feet tall in optimum growing conditions, and it likes to have a spacing of roughly 18 to 24 inches. The stalk will be green to purple in color and smooth, and they're going to be upright or erect throughout the flowering, but once seed production is complete, they may break off if they get bumped or something. For leaves, at the base of the plant, it will have basal leaves that are semi-evergreen, so they're going to persist all winter for me in zone 6, and they might for you too. But the basal leaves are ovate in shape and roughly 2 inches wide by 6 inches long. Leaves along the stalk are dark green and shiny. They're opposite along the stalk or paired, and they're lanceolate in shape, and they'll have serrated edges and no stem. At the top of each stalk will be tubular flowers that occur in panicles. Each individual flower is going to be roughly 1 inch long and 3/4 of an inch diameter. There's going to be 3 lower lobes and 2 upper lobes. Like other members of the Penstemon genus, about 6 weeks after flowering, seed capsules will form and mature. Each capsule contains many tiny seeds, and they're going to open on their own to disperse the seed from the fall through the spring. The plant may self-seed a bit if these aren't removed before then, but I really haven't noticed it to be too aggressive in self-seeding. You can also save seed by collecting the capsules and storing the dried seed in a Ziploc bag or a sealed plastic container for a year or two. I have a detailed video on this process which I'll link to below. The roots of Foxglove Beardtongue are short clump-forming rhizome roots. Now, don't be scared, it's not going to spread far and wide like goldenrod or bee balm, but it will make larger clumps of a plant. I also want to differentiate Foxglove Beardtongue versus Foxglove. Outside of the botanical names, there are some physical ways we can easily differentiate these two species, because one is native to North America, the other is native in Europe. Now, the examples I'm going to be showing you are actually different colored flowers, but ignore that because both Penstemon and digitalis species come in a wide variety of colors. This is just so you can differentiate the species when people are just using the common names foxglove or foxglove beardtongue. But the most obvious method is a close examination of the blooms. Native foxglove has lobed flowers, those 3 lips or petals below and 2 above, whereas European foxglove has none. It's just more of a cylinder. But in addition to that, before blooming, you can identify these two by the leaves. The leaves of Foxglove Beardtongue are smooth and opposite along the stalk, so they're paired, while European Foxglove has fuzzy leaves, and they're alternate up the stalk, so one on one side, one on the other. Growing Foxglove Beardtongue from seed is pretty straightforward. The seed requires a cold moist stratification period of 30 days and exposure to sunlight to break its dormancy. So you're going to need to winter sow the seed or simulate the winter by cold stratifying in the fridge. If you use the fridge, you should be able to use a paper towel as the seed is very tiny. If you need information on winter sowing or cold stratifying in the fridge, I'll link to both those videos below. But to plant the seed, either via winter sowing or after stratifying, you just need to fill a suitable container with moist potting soil and then sprinkle and press the seed firmly into the surface, taking care not to bury it. Place the containers in a place that gets morning sun and afternoon shade and keep it moist, and you should have no problem achieving a high germination rate. You can also use this above method for direct sowing in autumn. Just scatter the seed on disturbed soil. Also, if you're interested in starting some from seed, I will put a link to where you can get the seed below. You should expect a nice set of blooms by the 2nd year for the plants. So they can achieve full size by either year 2 or year 3, but they're definitely going to bloom in year 2 in my experience. It may even be possible to get blooms the 1st year if you get it into the ground early enough. I can't say for sure, as I've always been late in planting out my seedlings for this species. For wildlife, bees are the main pollinators of Foxglove Beardtongue, and it will attract a whole wide variety of species. And the more you grow, the more you will attract. Insects like to visit a buffet of flowers rather than a single specimen, so grow at least 3 of a species clustered together. Hummingbirds are also reported to visit the flowers, as well as large sphinx moths, but I've not been lucky enough to have them visit my patch, or at least I didn't see it when they came, if they did. For other insects, aphids will find the plant and suck on the sap from the stem. I've had this happen on mine, and it really didn't seem to affect the plant. The aphids themselves are unsightly, though. When it comes to deer and rabbits, many references will report Foxglove Beardtongue to be very deer and rabbit resistant. I can tell you that I've found this to be true when the plant gets a little more mature or a little larger, but early in the spring or with young seedlings, they will likely browse the young foliage. This is proof right here. This is deer and rabbit damager, one of them. So you can always spray it with liquid fence to protect them, as that stuff really does work and it doesn't harm anything. For garden uses, Foxglove Beardtongue is very versatile. The foliage looks good almost all year, and it puts on a very showy display for roughly a month, and it stays upright. So it's very friendly for a formal flower bed, or it's residential friendly. But it can be right at home in a more wild planting too, such as a backyard wildflower garden, microprairie border, or even a neglected ditch. Its nearly year-round basil leaves give it a footprint, if you will, that helps it compete with just about anything. Those basil leaves should allow it to have sunlight directly overhead, even if other plants encroach. I mean, obviously it could probably get shaded by a cup plant if it was totally surrounded, but in general it should be fine. I want to talk about one other aspect of this plant. Its fibrous rhizome roots allow it to be transplanted pretty easily. So the first area I planted this was between 2 cedar trees, just to grow and kind of observe it. Well, this year the trees were really starting to encroach on them, so I decided to move some. I dug up 4 of my plants and relocated them to a patch of semi-open woodlands behind my house, as well as a barren power line cut that our HOA owns. Well, all 4 plants are doing fine and are blooming right now as I release this video. So my point is, if you get some volunteers or you decide you need to relocate this plant, it's really not a problem. But all right, Time to review. Foxglove Beardtongue is a native perennial wildflower that grows 2 to 4 feet tall in full sun and well-draining soil. It's great for attracting bees, it's deer resistant once it gets to a decent size, and it's very easy to grow from seed. So if you have a little bit of patience, you can grow a whole lot of this plant for just a couple of dollars. Also, it's very versatile in garden, and it can be in a really nice mulched flower bed, or it can also be in a wild area. It's one of those plants that works both places. So, all right, but that's all I've got for you. If you have any questions at all, please ask them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. And again, if you need a quick reference, go to our article at our website, which I'll link to below. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help my channel out quite a bit, and I greatly appreciate it. But you guys all have a good one.